Hello, darling. I know it's been a long time since we last saw each other, but I have a confession for you. I don't think I'll ever beat the Betty Boop allegations. For those of you that know me, I do 1920s, mainly 1920s inspired makeup looks and outfits, and 95% of the time I do those things and I upload videos or pictures or go out and about. I get the same comment 95% of the time, which is, "You look like Betty Boop." I have gotten comments upon comments upon comments on my TikTok, even here on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook now, of people saying I look like Betty Boop. So I thought, why not transform myself and also give people a history lesson of the origins of Betty Boop and the messiness that came with it. Hello, it is I. I wanted to let you guys know that for the rest of the video, my sound quality will be outrageously atrocious. I had the very ingenious idea of taking off my microphone thinking it would be better sound-wise. It was not, but let's carry on. So I already have my skincare routine done. I made sure to very heavily moisturize so my makeup goes on smoothly. I even applied jojoba oil. We might never know. But I'm gonna start off with the e.l.f. Power Grip as a primer for my face. Betty Boop made her first appearance on August 9th, 1930 in the cartoon Dizzy Dishes, alongside Bimbo, a dog and human hybrid. Like Bimbo, Betty was also a dog-human hybrid and was actually meant to be a love interest for him. By 1931, Betty had started to change. Her ears and eyes, once droopy, had now become smaller, and that's when she was given the name Betty Boop. And in January of 1932, her slightly droopy puppy ears had turned into her iconic gold hoop earrings. During the mid-1930s, the motion picture code began taking over film productions through the Hays Code. And what is the Hays Code, you might ask? It was a set of self-imposed industry moral guidelines for U.S. films that lasted from 1932 to 1968. Though the guidelines were around since 1922, they were not enforced until 1932 to avoid government censorship. The code was imposed in both animation and live-action films, leaving animators no choice than to revamp Betty's look. As time went on, Betty's dresses became longer, erasing any traces of the famous garter she wore around her thigh. Under the Hays Code, they no longer showed Betty running for president or even flying her own plane because at the time, and I quote, it wasn't appropriate for a single young woman. They even covered up her dresses with an apron. But did you know Betty Boop was inspired by a black woman named Esther Jones? Esther Lee Jones, or known as Baby Esther, was born in Chicago. We don't know her exact birthday, but we do know that she was born in 1918. During the 1920s, when she was around the ages 4 or 6, she won a first prize at a Charleston contest and got the attention of Lou Bolton, who was a child's performance promoter. In 1928, he booked Esther at the Everglades restaurant and other clubs in Midtown Manhattan. Here she actually went by the miniature Florence Mills instead of Baby Esther. Later in April of 1928, the same year Esther started performing at the Everglades, actress and entertainer Helen Kane actually sees Baby Esther at the club. And bear with me, because this plays a huge role in the lawsuit that's about to come. In 1932, during the rise of the Betty Boop cartoons, Helen Kane files a lawsuit against Max Fleischer and Paramount Studios for $250,000 US, approximately $5.9 million in today's money. This actually became one of the first high-profile celebrity lawsuits of modern age. In this lawsuit, Helen was claiming that Betty Boop was basically her. She claimed that the cartoon had the same looks, mannerism, and singing style as her. Helen was claiming that the cartoon acted and sounded like her when singing the boop boop be doop, even though it came from Baby Esther. Baby Esther directly inspired the creators, and that's where the boop boop be doop comes from. Even though Helen Kane was claiming that the whole baby vamp, which according to Google is an attractive, popular, and often manipulative young woman, a flapper or siren, who charms or toys with men's affections, was uniquely hers, along with the style of scat singing. And for those that don't know, scat or scatting is a jazz vocal technique in which they use nonsense words or wordless syllables, and in this case it's boop boop bedoop, which again did not come from Helen Kane. Scatting wasn't solely a Helen Kane thing, it was everywhere at the time. The high-pitched style of singing she claimed was her own was also done by Baby Esther, Florence Mill, Mae Questel, and many other artists during the 1920s. Many people even came out to say that they've heard other artists using the boop boop bedoop singing style before Kane did. Even African-American pianist Clarence Williams came out and claimed that he's been using that style since 1915, 17 years before this lawsuit. Lou Bolton, who was managing Baby Esther at the time, also came out and said that he's been using that style and phrase with her, except she was saying boo doo boo instead of boop boop bedoop. Bolton testified before Helen, even having a sound film of Esther scat singing around the ages 8 to 10. Lou even said that Helen saw Esther scat singing in a club in Manhattan way before Helen started booping, suggesting that Helen took Baby Esther's singing style to claim as her own. After many witnesses and evidence, the court established that Kane was very well aware that this was not her own unique singing style. This created a media frenzy, damaging Kane's reputation and image. With the witnesses and the sound film as evidence, the court came out to the conclusion that Helen most definitely did not come up with this. So on May 5th, 1934, Helen Kane lost her lawsuit against Max Fleischer in Paramount Studios. I had to grab you for a second and put on my glasses so I can see what I'm doing. But thank you so much for watching. Next time I promise I'll try to figure out why my microphone doesn't sound good when it's far away. I mean, it was on my shirt, the intro, and then I had to put you down, and then now I have to hold you to get decent audio quality. I promise I will try to figure it out next time. But thank you so much for watching. This did take a long time. Thank you for bearing with me and being so patient on my next video. But yeah, I had so much fun. I'm so glad I accurately did Betty Boop this time, because before it was just not accurate. It was a bit more historically accurate, but not cartoon accurate. But thank you so much for watching. You can find me on my social media when I'm not here on YouTube, so you can check me out on there. And until next time, darling, bye!